Okay, everybody. This is Sophia Bierman. I got some requests for discussing the werewolf Dogman, and I'm going to do that today. Um, Sorry, I got my two puppies sitting beside me, and they're taking up my sofa. Um, uh, Sorry, the little hogs. 4 months old. Yeah, it's again. Sorry, everybody. I should have done this a little bit sooner. Um, uh, Most of you know who I am. I'm Sophia Bierman from Travel Channel, Psychic Medium. I've been on Josh Gates, Expedition X, Expedition Unknown. I am BTV. I am DBTV. I've been on multiple podcasts, interviews, etc. Some of you have been asking me for pictures of the footprints of the Dogman werewolf, and I do have them. So I'm going to show them to you. I know the video that I posted cut off right before the picture because there was a commercial, and I didn't have the other half of the movie. So I'm going to show you pictures today and discuss with Linda's book too. Linda Godfrey, she's a friend of mine. I've been in a couple movies with her, so I'm going to do that right now. Any questions, go ahead and post them and I will answer them. Or obviously, if you're not watching live, you can ask me later. Again, I am in Heartland, Wisconsin. And I just want to start off by showing you where this was. I have a picture of the backyard. If you can look right in the middle of where these trees are back here, the thing walked back here is where it was. And then it turned and went up that way through the neighbors' yards. But it was dark out and it was like 1:30 in the morning. And this happened in 2015 when I was on the Travel Channel. They didn't want me to say what year it was, but that's when it started. So it came from back here. I was down over here. That's where I was, standing over here at 1:30 in the morning. It was a full moon out and it was really quiet, but it came walking along. Came walking along this side backwards. Came walking along this side. That's where it came from, that side from the neighbors. And went down through here, that far. Came walking all the way along here and walked up through these two houses. My dog and I were down here on the grass. I had a little Yorkie at the time. But I could see it. And like I said, it came out of this tree line over here. And I was just watching it going, what the heck is that? And like I stated when I talked to Linda Godfrey, when I emailed her, I just thought it was two kids. This is my poor drawing of what I thought it was, but the arms were longer. It was way down to its knees. So that's what it was. But it was gray in color, had long hair. Chest was huge. That was just like had like a fur coat on its chest, but it was about 7 feet tall. But I was just watching it walk, and like I was stuck to the ground. And my dog and I, neither one of us could move. We tried to, at least I didn't. Obviously, my dog was going to go with me. She was on a leash, and I was going to say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because at first I thought it was two kids. And this thing turned around and looked at me between the two properties over here. And as soon as it looked at me, I know it read my mind. I know it knew what I was going to say to it. It turned around and looked, and it had two little bitty ears like my dog and a little bitty nose. And then, because my dog and I were like vibrating, and you'll hear this in most people's stories that they'll say that they were vibrating. And I didn't know that until afterwards when I got into listening to other people's stories too, and from Linda too. She'll say, yeah, people will say that they were stuck, they couldn't move, and they felt like they were vibrating. That's exactly what happened. We were standing on the ground over here, and like I said, I was thinking, what are you doing? And it turned, looked at me, and probably for 15 seconds it was looking at me. I couldn't see its eyes, but it had a little bitty dog face, but huge body. And then it turned and it walked down through the two properties there up that hill. And as soon as it was out of sight, my dog and I could move. So I picked my dog up and I walked backwards into the house, almost tripped, and came in and told my husband, and he told me I was nuts. So I put my dog down and she ran under the bed and won't come out for 3 days. But I told him I was going to call the police and he tells me not to. But I did the next day anyway. And the police asked me why I didn't call. And I was kind of shocked at them saying that to me. And then I remember telling the police officer, the one that I spoke to, I know who he was, and he's a little bit smaller than I am. I'm 5'4". And I said that thing would have done you in. Me growing up on a farm with animals, I know animals' noises and obviously the build of animals. And I said, if you're going to try to chase this animal and back it into a corner, it's going to attack. Because this thing was about 7 feet tall and had canine legs that were bent, and it was walking and swinging its arms down to its knees. So it was pretty tall. But I had emailed Linda Godfrey. I Googled dog man because that's what it looked like to me, dog face. And I don't know. So she responded to me and she came out here and went out there and looked back on that burm area where it was walking. And the pictures that, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but you can see where the footprint impressions were here. It was walking, that was where it turned and went up. I'll show you a picture out of Linda's book that she took. And I'll have to find this one for myself because I have it somewhere. I know she gave it to me. Here's the picture out of her book. You can see that, the ruler. That was part of the print. It was huge. So you can see that. And the book that she sent me, it's called Monsters Among Us. And sorry, it's really windy here today. It's page 236 that this picture is on. So, but she named it under the Heartland Harry thing. And she said it was 6 feet tall, bipedal creature, canine head, and anatomy tracks resembling those of a large wolf or dog, snooping around on the family property. But she called me Marcia because back then, this was 6-7 years ago. And as some of you know, many people didn't talk about it, and we didn't. So that's some of the pictures. But like I said, you can't really make them out. You see them, but that's where it turned and went. But here is the toes by my foot. That was my foot. And you can see the toes, how big just the toes were on the dog man, I should say. And you all want to see, of course, the picture from the show. And this is a good picture of the one from the Josh Gates. You can see how big it is. See how big that footprint is right in the middle. And I don't know how big it was. I didn't measure it. I just took a picture, and you can see the bearded irises plant was huge. That was the whole plant. Quiet. That was the whole plant that it stepped in. And that's how big the footprint was on there. So, like I said, I cut it off on there because there was a commercial. And then that was the second time that it was out here. And then the third time that it was out here was probably a year and a half later. And it was beside my house in between some evergreen bushes that are pretty tall, probably 25 feet tall. And I was outside with my same dog. And I let her out the service door. And it was October because it was getting cold when I let her out. And I turned and I looked to my left, and this one was different. It was white colored and white and gray, and it was probably 6 feet in stature. And it had a longer nose. The first one I saw had a short nose. This one had a longer nose and it was short in stature. And it just reminded me, but this one growled at me because it was really close to me, it was maybe within 6 feet of me. But it was in between the tall evergreen trees. And I told my dog, I said, get in here. She immediately turned around and ran and came back in the house. And she saw it and turned and ran and came back in the house by me. But it just stood there like this with its arms close to it, but it had a longer nose and it was gray. And if anybody knows anything about animals with mange, this one had patches of hair that was just like clumps, but the rest of it was gone. Not like the first one. The first one was full of hair and full chest of hair, but the second one that I actually saw was it reminded me of people as they get older, and it was smaller and it looked like it was shrinking or shrunk down, and you can tell that it was older just by the skin was wrinkly. It was just kind of weird seeing it was different color. Like I said, the other one was more a darker gray. This one was a light, like almost a white, and it had a longer nose. But it just this one growled at me, and I thought, well, you're so close to me, but I didn't feel threatened by it. I just turned around and walked in the house. What am I going to do? But I don't know. I think they're around here more often than you think. I live by lakes over here where I live, and it's pretty. I mean, they travel right through here. The deer do right in the back of the properties from everybody's house. And I live on Indian land. I think that these are actually shapeshifters. That's what I think. Um, I've did some research back here, and I think that's actually what they are, shapeshifters. For the Dogman, that's been discussed through some people, and they have asked me before, and that's what I've told them. I think they're shapeshifters from the Indian culture. That's my personal opinion. And last year, there's a burm that we have that I have flowers on and plants and things like that. And I was out there cleaning it up, and all of a sudden, I got a whiff of something that smelled like total garbage. Well, there's nothing around that people don't dump their garbage and things out here, neither do we. And I went on the backside and over around the neighbor's area, and God, I have that picture. I don't. I must have it on my phone. And here there's a big print, and I had never encountered that smell before, and I had asked somebody else what it was, but it was a Bigfoot print, and it was Memorial Day weekend, 3-day weekend. So that's what it was. Um, so, like I said, there's different creatures that are coming around here. Um, so if anybody has any questions, you can send them to me. Like I said, I was in Linda Godfrey's. She put me in this book here, Monsters Among Us, and actually one of her titles that she put one of her books, I Know What I Saw, that she asked me if she could use that because that's what I say. I know what I saw, and that's exactly what I tell people. I know what I saw, and don't try to change it because they are here. And if some people don't believe it, well, wait till they see it, because there's been 100 reported sightings to police departments within the last, it's not many, one a year in the last 100 years. There was another one reported here in Heartland, 4 houses from me. It was looking in her kitchen window. And then I talked to another woman. She told me she saw one walking right down the middle of the road about 2 years ago, but she didn't want to report it. Same reason that I didn't want to report it, thinking what people are going to think of me. So, but you never know. So that's what happened. Like I said, on the Josh Gates show and Travel Channel, at that point, when I was on the Travel Channel, I only saw it once at that point. When I was on the Josh Gates show, I did tell them about all the incidents, but somebody suggested, yeah, maybe it's for time constraints, could be. But they knew about all the incidences and whatever. But that's, so that's my story, but that's what it is. So if anybody has any questions or anything, you can comment on it. I will get back to you. I don't know if I can post any pictures on there or not. I prefer not to because I've had some people in the same industry that I am in try to take some of my pictures, which is kind of bizarre. So some of them, if you notice, like this one, that's straight up, I wrote on it. Sorry, my nails are a little bit whatever today, but I wrote on it that they're mine. It's kind of strange because there's some people that haven't seen it and try to take other people's work for their own credit. So anyway, I want to thank anybody who's watching who might watch. I appreciate it. Like I said, I welcome anybody's comments, and I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to do a live Vox session next. But thank you for everybody. Take care.